Hello and good morning. Most of you may recognize this background. Where am I? This is not my house. This is my mom's house. I know so many of you recognize this background because you guys are constantly asking how my parents are doing. Well, they just got back home from their 2-year mission, and when they came home a few weeks ago, I made them homemade yogurt and granola, and they loved it, and we ate it all up. And I am here again this week, and so I am going to make them up another batch, and I am going to bring you guys along with me. Now, I do have a video somewhere a long time ago of how I made yogurt. I changed it up just a little bit, and my mom does not have an Instant Pot with a yogurt setting, and so I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you how I make it if you don't have an Instant Pot or one with a yogurt setting. So come along with me to my mom's kitchen, and we are going to whip up some yogurt and granola today. So I like to make homemade yogurt because it is healthier and more nutritious, and it is free from all of the extra additives that you get from the store, like extra added sugar and gums and unnecessary ingredients that you don't want in your body. And so all you need is some whole milk, and I've never made yogurt with less than whole milk. This is all I've ever tried, so I can't guarantee on how it will turn out if you don't use whole milk. And then you need an active yogurt culture starter. So this came from my house. I needed to use it so it wouldn't go bad, so I brought it out from Kansas to make yogurt here. But go to the grocery store, buy some like Chobani plain yogurt, and as long as the ingredients have active cultures in it, then it will work. And you just need a few scoops, and then once you make yogurt, you can save a little starter from that yogurt. So it just kind of carries on to the next yogurt and then the next one. And then a thermometer comes in very handy. And I use an Instant Pot, and I found a pot in my mom's house, but it's not an Instant Pot. It doesn't have a yogurt setting, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and you can do this on the stovetop or in a crock pot as well. I don't ever measure my milk. I do about a half a gallon, but whatever works for your family. We're just going to start pouring milk into this. And if you do this on the stovetop, what we are doing is getting this cold milk to reach 180 degrees. And I am just going to hit this saute button and start it. So if you're on the stove top, just slowly heat up your milk, whisk it every once in a while so the bottom doesn't scald. While you're whisking your milk, you want to make sure to put your whisk in a clean place in between whisking so that you don't introduce any bacteria back into here. So you're heating this up to 180 degrees for about 10 minutes. That will make for a richer product in the end, as well as kill off any of the bad microbes while we're doing it. Alright, we are at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Once you get it to that temperature, you can either start the cooling process, or you can keep it at that temperature for 1 to 20 minutes. The longer you keep it to that temperature and let it kind of boil at 180, the more thick and more rich the product will be in the end. Now the cooling process, you can do one of two ways. You can just turn off the heat and you can let it sit here. If it's on the stove, just turn off the stove and just let it sit there. That will take about an hour, or you can make a water bath like I have done. If it's in the water bath, I find about 15 minutes works great, but you want to get it back down to around 100 degrees. I like to place a washcloth so that I don't scratch the bottom of the white sink. Something I forgot to mention, while heating your milk up to 180, another reason why you do that is because it denatures the main whey protein, which effectively increases the amount of protein in your yogurt. So that is another reason why yogurt is a great option for extra added protein in your diet. I'm just keeping an eye on the temperature while it's in the ice bath, because if you add your culture when it's above like 120, you're going to kill the bacteria. But if you add the culture when it's like below 90 degrees, it's going to stop any bacteria growth. So you want to find that happy medium between around 100, 105, 110 degrees when you add your culture, and I think we are just about there. I am now going to add my culture, and I don't ever measure. I just dump a few spoonfuls. If I get one of those little ones from the grocery store, I usually do about half of one of those. I guess if you're doing a full gallon of milk, you could do a full cup of it. now this is where I'm changing things up and I am doing better. I used to add like half a can of sweetened condensed milk to it because it was so delicious. And I guess that was my way of weaning myself off of store-bought yogurt. And now I don't even add sweetened condensed milk to it because it's healthier that way. It is better, less sugar, and it still does taste great. So now at this point, you had your yogurt culture whisked into it. It's nice and smooth. You're just going to add a lid. If you don't have one of these kind of lids, just add a plate or a pot lid, whatever you have. A crock pot is nice and insulated. This is nice and insulated, but because there's no yogurt setting on it, if you do a crock pot or a pot or whatever this machine is, just get some big old beach towels and you're gonna wrap it around it. You basically just want this to be insulated and stay at the same temperature for the next 8 hours or so. You can go from 8 hours all the way up to 36 hours if you want. I go about 12 hours for my yogurt, and the longer you let it sit, the more tart it's gonna be. So we'll just see what it looks like by the end of tonight. All right, on to making homemade granola. This has been one of my favorite things to swap from buying from the grocery store to making at home because it is so versatile. You can add whatever you have at home and it is so yummy and delicious, easy, healthier, and a lot cheaper. So many reasons why I like to make my own granola. There are lots of variations, but I am going to show you just a really simple, basic one that we do at home often. 2 cups of old-fashioned oats, 1/4 of a cup of coconut oil, 2 cups of pecans, almonds, a mixture. I'm just gonna do a cup today. I don't have any almonds, but those are really good in it. 1/3 of a cup of honey, or you could do maple syrup as well. I've got a tablespoon of vanilla extract and a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you've got flaxseed or chia seeds or a combination of both, those are great to add in as well. Once you add all your ingredients, stir it up, and I've got the oven heating up to 300 degrees. All right, I just mixed that up into one bowl, and then you wanna spread it out onto a cookie sheet. If you have a silicone mat, that works great. If you have a parchment paper, that works great. I don't have any of those. I am working with butter today, so I am just going to spread this out thin on the cookie sheet. The vanilla, the cinnamon, it all just smells so good. You can add peanut butter to this. You can add, mini chocolate chips. You guys, who doesn't love a little chocolate in pretty much anything? I was going to add little mini chocolate chips because that's always good too. You could do cranberries, raisins, little cocoa powder to make like a chocolate flavored one. There are so many ways to do this. This didn't make as much as I thought it would. I would probably double it next for my family. This is good to eat as like a cereal just with milk. As a snack, you can top smoothies with it. We obviously put ours with yogurt, but I'm just spreading it nice and flat. All right, oven temperature is at 300 degrees and I am putting this in here for about 25 to 30 minutes. And it's still gonna look kind of soft when I pull it out, but as it cools, it will harden up. Once your granola has cooled, you can break it up into as small of pieces as you want, or you can leave it in big clusters like this, whatever you want. Good morning. I was going to do this last night, but the power went out, and the power is still out. But I am going to strain the yogurt now. So you need some kind of a colander and then a bowl to put it in so it has a place to strain the whey. At my mom's house, I just use these tea towels. I, at home, have a specific yogurt mesh straining bag that works really well. I'm just going to leave this in the bowl for about 30 minutes to an hour. All right, my yogurt has been straining in this cheesecloth or this tea towel, and I'm just going to dump it into my bowl. And then whisk it up good, put it in the fridge, and you've got yourself some nice creamy homemade yogurt. So if you strain it for a really long time, you can make Greek yogurt, but if you like it a little bit runnier, then you just don't strain it for as long. Look at that, nice and smooth. Now this stuff right here is the good stuff. People pay lots of money for whey protein. That's all this is whey. You can add this to smoothies. You can use it to steam your rice or your vegetables. You can use it to feed your plants, like water your plants. There are so many uses for whey protein. You just pour it in a jar and put it in your fridge and it will last a really long time. You can just use it in place of like chicken broth or put it in soups. There's so many different uses for it. You can use it to mix up your protein shake for the day. So don't throw that stuff out. And we'll add some granola and a little bit of honey to this, maybe some fruit, and you've got yourself a really great yogurt parfait for breakfast.